All right, let's talk about SUMMRS' new project, What We Didn't Have, which was the sequel to What We Have that they released back, I want to say in like 2019 or 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong, that part really doesn't matter, but essentially what he was trying to do was go back to the old sound of Plug and B, but it just had a little bit better mix and production, I want to say, since he's now signed to a relatively major label, 10K Projects. I think they actually just got bought by Warner, or they're underneath that umbrella, so now they're technically a major label, even though before they were claiming they're independent. But regardless, this project, What We Didn't Have, was for the fans, because I feel like leading up to this project there wasn't as much hype for SUMMRS, whereas before, because of Fallen Raven, which was deemed as one of his best projects, it had a good mix of like trap type NBA YoungBoy street rap like Swing Your Pole, but then also had a little bit of Plug and B side to him, because that's what SUMMRS is known for, originating with his boy Autumn. And so because the fans loved this project so much and it did so well commercially, at least within the underground, the next two projects had a lot of hype and anticipation before them. However, they really just did not meet expectations, which leaves us to today. He didn't have too much hype because of his last two projects, Stuck in My Ways and then Ghost, which I actually did not agree with the public opinion about Stuck in My Ways. As you've already heard me say so many times, the second half of the project, where he kind of like made some more pop type songs like Pilates and some others, it was really good. And the fact that the fans were hating on it, I really don't understand. They just want the Plug and B and for artists to not evolve whatsoever. Although I do have to say, SUMMRS on these NBA YoungBoy trap beats, like, it just ain't it. I understand that he's again trying to evolve and experiment with different sounds, but he has that scratchy voice, like it just doesn't mesh well to me. But again, he went back to the Plug and B so that he could get the fans back on his side. So this was a super important project. It was almost like make or break, because you can have two projects that are kind of piss poor, garbaggio, sitting on the toilet after you had food poisoning for 3 days because the escort that you took out the night before made you eat some bad spaghetti. And not only did this happen once, but it happened twice, at least in the public eye for his fans. So a lot of artists don't even get this chance to come back with a third project. We see what's happening with Trippie Redd, among other artists who just fall off and you forget about them because they don't make good projects. But I guess since SUMMRS has such a deep discography and he's been building his fan base for so long, they were willing to give him a break. So this third project, make or break, and I actually think that he's back. Okay, I like the album. I wouldn't say like it was my favorite, but that's only because I'm just not a huge Plug and B stan. Like, I like the music, but it's not something I listen to all the time. I definitely appreciate it, don't get me wrong. He definitely made a good move by going back to his old sound, because again, with Ghost and Stuck in My Ways, fans were hating on it, and then he dropped some SoundCloud exclusives like the day or week after those projects, seeing all of the hate of just Plug and B type music, shit that he used to drop a long time ago, more emotional type feel, and the views were skyrocketing. So he's like, you know what, that's still working, let me just go back to it. Although I do think that fans are kind of limiting artists by not letting them evolve and do bigger and better things like the second half of Stuck in My Ways. But anyway, as I was saying about this project, he's strayed away from this more thug type music and image. And I think the original reason why he was even doing that in the first place was because Swing Your Pole did so well on TikTok and SoundCloud and streaming platforms. So he was like, let me keep doing this with the heavy 808s and be gangster and everything. And that's why on Stuck in My Ways and Ghost, he was trying to hit that sound once again, but it just, I don't know, man. It feels like he's playing too much of a character. He was catching some fictional cases, let's say. Actually, he did catch a case with Jace, but also the whole gas station incident, which never really amounted to anything. I think that dude was like threatening a lawsuit or whatever, but I don't know. It just didn't feel authentic. He needed to start talking about breakups with his girl, or like how much his grandma and mom mean to him. Like, that's the true SUMMRS, and that's what he brought back on this project. And he's still rapped about some of these little street antics that he wants to play a part in, even though he's too rich now. Like, why do you have to go back to the hood, I guess, when you didn't really start there in the first place? But on this project, it actually sounded good, because all you got to do is just you got to keep the same content of like you're, you know, swinging a pole and whatever, but you're just singing it with a melody. And so it's a nice compromise. And of course the R&B melody with the plug beats or 808s. And so I think he brought back this like more relatable or emotional type lyrics that all the fans love. My personal favorite songs on this project were International, because them 808s were bouncing my booty like I was Kim Kardashian when that silicone was just injected in my cheeks. But then also Top Off / House Arrest. And then my personal favorite, the best song on the project, was Martin and Gina. It was the collab with Autumn. Autumn went absolutely crazy, especially with that like alphabet flow. I know he hates me. I don't really care. The music is good. We got to separate the music from the people. He's a little sensitive. Okay, I get it. We all get a little butthurt about opinions, but at least, you know, his fans know that I actually like his music. And I think in this song, he low-key proved that he's the king of plug and be, bro. He just sounds smoother. Like, this kind of reminds me, and not necessarily the comparison of the quality of music, but like Autumn is like the Drake and SUMMRS is Lil Wayne, in the way that Lil Wayne had that like scratchy voice, like he was sipping codeine since the age of 2, and then Drake had this like more, you know, little light skin, emotional, more articulate with his words, spitting metaphors to the ladies that they really have to think about 3 days later so they can finally respond to that text and be like, oh, I get it. Let me suck you real quick. But I do understand if some people like SUMMRS more, because he does have like a better rap voice, whereas Autumn kind of does that Kermit the Frog / Lil Yachty type flow voice thing. But regardless, SUMMRS and Autumn came back to plug and be. I don't think Autumn really left, but SUMMRS definitely did, and reclaimed his title as the king of plug and be. Now, I know that he and Lil Shine were seen together, maybe recording new music. Maybe he's a feature on Lil Shine's next project or like an upcoming song, but man, like Lil Shine just sounds like he's making the theme song for Candyland or some anime type show. Not saying it's bad, because I can get down to it, but like on a daily basis, yo, I gotta like micro dose on some shrooms to be on that vibe all day. But regardless, the album is pretty solid. I wouldn't say there are that many skips, if any. There are some songs that I didn't really like personally, because I don't know, it just gets a little bit repetitive, but that's just because this entire album is just plug and be tracks, although he did switch it up a bit. I think my favorite songs were of course the ones with the best beats, but at least he kept it at only 15 tracks so we didn't get too bored, you know what I mean? Not saying this is a boring project, but once you start getting to the 20s, it's like, bro, turn this off. It feels like homework when you're listening to it, just to get through it so you can actually have an opinion. But this was a nice solid amount of songs where I didn't get too depleted. And I know we were talking about Autumn before just regarding features, but Desire, man, they messed up his mix or something, because he sounds like 3 times the volume as SUMMRS. They needed to do something about that and re-upload. I don't know. And I don't know if I said this before, but I'd probably give it like a 7.33 repeating out of 10 project, because again, like plug and be isn't my favorite genre of all time. I can't be listening to it all day, or else I'll start to get into the emo rap feels where, you know, I want to start doing self-harm, and that's just not my vibe. But I liked 11 out of 15 songs, so I did my classic calculation of just dividing the number of songs that I liked from the total of 15 tracks on the project, and there we got. But with all that being said, it's me, your boy bobbalam, signing off. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all thought about the project. I'm gonna go look in my fridge and figure out what we didn't have so I can pick it up later tomorrow. I wonder what SUMMRS got in his fridge. Hopefully it's not just Sprite and lean, because bro needs to, you know, start hitting the gym a little bit, you know? Of course, make sure to like and subscribe to the Bob Gang if you with it. Peace out, cop you. Nice seeing.